Okay, good morning, and we will begin our training here on what I call the invitation training. Now, what I'm going to do as I go through this training is I'm going to try to relate it to both the what we call the warm market side of our business and the cold market. So I'm going to go back and forth between the different aspects of it. And again, one of the things that I want to stress is this is based on what's worked for me, my experience over 28 plus years or so in the direct sales network marketing industry, as well as what I've learned from the traditional business world before I ever got involved in direct sales network marketing. And one thing I do want to stress again is that you listen to all trainers from everywhere, because everybody brings something to the table. And so you'll try different things, and those that work you'll keep, and those that don't work you discard, until ultimately you've developed a method that fits you, fits your personality, what I call your rhythm, and it brings you what you're looking for in terms of success. So the invitation is this, and this is how we get started. You'll notice here on the worksheet that I have, I say nothing happens until we get people invited. And the invitation has a specific purpose. What is it you want them to do? Now, in the business building side for what we're doing with Doobly, obviously our focus and our intent is to get people to want to see the vision of what we have in Doobly Network and want to become a business associate. I mean, that's the ultimate goal in terms of the business building side. And they will go out and do the same thing that we're doing, and collectively as a team, we build an organization. The other side of that is, through the invitation, we will also develop a customer base, because the customer base will be those people who will tell you the timing isn't right, they don't see themselves in it, they'll give you a lot of excuses, but the invitation takes them through the retail side of the business as well as the business side, because that's the fundamental underpinning for our business. And ultimately, when they come out the other side, if they tell you the timing is wrong or whatever reason they're going to give you, if we've done our job correctly and we've used the information in a correct manner, they're going to want to say, I want to take advantage of what you have in terms of the retail. And you got yourself a customer. So it's either going to be a business associate or a customer, with very, very few exceptions where somebody may just not get it at all. And there's a few of those rattling around in the world. So there's nothing we can do about them. But so the good news is that we're going to get one of two things. But you also have to keep this in mind. And that is this: people will listen to you, will see what you have, and they're going to interpret it based on how they know you. Now I want to repeat that, because this is something most people forget. They're going to interpret what you're saying to them, and I'm talking specifically now about warm market, what you say to them based on how they know you and the success that they, in their minds, envision you having. Now that can be good news and that can be bad news. And it doesn't matter which one it is. We just have to know from where we're coming from. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to use myself as an example. Now, I've been in the direct sales network marketing industry for, as I said, 20 plus years, 28 years or so. That means if I'm talking warm market, everybody that I've had a relationship with over these years, if I call them, and this is part of the invitation, the first thing that's got to run through their mind, if we're honest with each other, is, I wonder what Dean is going to pitch me on. I mean, common sense is that they know what I've been doing, and they know I've been with a number of companies. That the number doesn't matter, but in the industry, so they know specifically the kind of industry, the kind of business I'm in. So inherently, they probably have been too, because that's how we know each other. So they have got to say to themselves, who's Dean with now, or what's he going to pitch me on? What's he going to say? That is just the norm. Now, if I was a doctor and I just got involved with Doobly, and I just got involved in network marketing or direct sales, they're not going to expect that. The doctor's calling me, or my friend who is a doctor's calling me, or my relative who's a doctor's calling me. So we're going to have to position that in a different way. But I'm going to start with me first. So my goal, here's my goal. My goal is I want people who I think might be good to be in business with me. I want them to look at the information that we have in the proper sequence, so that they get the value, they understand it. Because one of the things that I've come to realize is I don't want everybody in business with me. I only want the people who, when they see the information in the proper sequence, get it. They get the big picture because they're going to work hard for themselves versus working hard for me or Doobly or anybody else, because they're going to have the vision of, I found something that I can finally generate the kind of income I want to generate to take care of my family in the fashion that I've always wanted to take care of. So it's not like I'm going to try to talk them into it. And if you've been on some of the other trainings that I've done, I've always talked about, we use this as a screening process. Do we want the masses? Absolutely we do. But we want the masses as customers, and they can sign up for free. The people that we want in business with us are those that get it and are going to go to work and work with us in a team fashion. You see, in the traditional network marketing world, and if you keep this math in mind, this is going to help you as we go through this. In the traditional network marketing world, where people talk about an auto ship, whether the auto ship is $50, $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever it is, doesn't matter. They always say, if you want to make $10,000, and let's just say the auto ship is $100. And if they say you want to make $100,000, then let's say the overall commission averages out at 5% just for the sake of math. So they're going to say if you want to make $10,000, then you got to have an organization of X that will generate the volume that will allow you to earn that kind of money. So at 5%, you would need to have probably 2,000 people for $10,000 a month at $100 a piece. Well, when you think about it, to manage an organization that size, or to try to help oversee or guide or teach or train or do any of those kinds of things, an organization that size is much more difficult than if you had an organization of, let's say, 100 that was generating $1,000 in sales, and at 5%, that's $5,000. Well, it's easier to work with 100 people than it's going to be 1,000 or more. So that's the reality of what we have, because we're not talking about a product. We're not talking about weight loss or skin care or any of those kinds of things. We're talking about a transactional environment of literally thousands, millions of transactions being generated that's going to generate the income for us through each one of our business associates. So we want those that are going to go out and get the big picture. They're going to build an infrastructure of their own, but they're also going to have a massive customer base. So that's why we have what I call the luxury of selecting the people that we want to work with. Part of the challenge we'll all have to get over, if you come from the network marketing world, is we come from a network marketing world, and we know the drill. We know the attrition rate is sky high. We know that people will quit within 90 days. We know that people have misled us and things didn't work, and the products didn't work, or whatever it is. That's our history. That's what we've been kind of geared towards expecting. So we're in a hurry to make as much money as we can because we haven't been in an environment where we feel we can trust our future. So we make as much as we can right now. Well, that's okay for motivation, and that's okay to, as you build the front end of the business here, we have the ability to make some really good income. But we don't want to forget the back end. So my goal is this, and this is the process I use. I'm not telling you this is the process you should use. Each of you have got some leaders within your groups that have their specific methods. I'm giving you kind of a framework, a guideline, if you will, on the process. They may have materials that are available to you. You can use their materials. There's a lot of things you can do. They may have some of this already created for you as well. My goal is this. I want people, before I ever talk to them about the business, to know the value of what Doobly offers the customer. Why do I want that? Because if I show somebody the value of Doobly.com and they're not excited, they don't get it, they don't see why people would want to do that, then why would I want them in business with me? I'm going to have to every day manage them and push them along and cajole them and convince them. I don't need the headache. They don't need the aggravation. If they look at Doobly.com and they're not excited, it's like a job interview. They failed the interview. Now, they may end up being a customer, but they failed the interview to be in the business. I mean, you'd have to be brain dead to want to not take advantage of what Doobly offers on the retail side of our business. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show them a short little video on retail. There's a 10-minute retail video that's out there that we use, and I think it's very effective in giving them the overview on that offering. So from that, and this is the process, and I'm going to give you the verbiage. The first thing I want them to do is I want them to see that. I'm going to follow up with them after they've had a chance to. I'm going to find out whether they got it, didn't get it, and we're going to move from there. The second thing I want to do, and then I'm talking about the strategy here, my goal, is I'm going to move them from the retail video. Then I'm going to move them to a recorded business presentation. There's about a 28, 29-minute presentation that's been recorded. And generally when I do by the way, when I do the Wednesday evening webinars, I record all of those, and they always go into my YouTube channel. So every week I'm updating whatever a business presentation is available. And those presentations, by the way, are 30 minutes. I don't ever go over 30 minutes. So they're short, concise, and to the point. So I'm going to go from the retail video to the recorded business presentation, which ties in a little bit of the retail. And from that, then that's where we're going to find out whether there's some significant or sincere interest. Then I'm going to take them from that to the compensation plan, and that's where I'll do a little bit of training. Now, in that process, too, depending on how we interact, the questions they ask, that kind of thing, I will do a three-way with somebody in my organization, somebody that's having success, somebody I'm working with, so that, that third-party validation is critical. And I may even plug them into maybe a training that we're doing, especially if it's the right type of training like we're doing this Saturday. And so what I'm doing is I'm giving them information. Here's the other thing to keep in mind, and this comes out of the traditional business world. To change a habit, they say it's going to take an individual roughly 7 weeks. To get enough information to decide to make a change is going to take 7 pieces of information. Now, I don't know who dreamed up the number 7 and what psychologist did that. It's just that's a lot of the information that's out there. So that means for us it's going to be 7 touches, 7 pieces of information that people will need to get on the warm market side as we move them along the process. And then on the cold market side, what you're doing is you're structuring your internet pieces, you're structuring your splash pages, you're structuring, if you're using video content, if you're using, whatever it is you're using, you're actually, from a marketing standpoint, and again, this is what a lot of people don't realize. Now, the guys that are doing internet marketing probably understand this because it is marketing, and they probably have been trained along these lines. But it's the automated system that gives information in a logical sequence that allows people to become interested and want to do what they see on whatever it is that's being sent. It's exactly the same. They're just done in a little bit different fashion, but the outcome and the expectation is the same. Here's the one thing to remember about cold market recruiting. You all are here on this training. You're all engaged with Doobly, and I'll say 99% of you, just to be safe, because you had a relationship with somebody else. You're not on this training, you're not in Doobly today, 99+% of you, because you answered an ad or you saw something in the cold market. There was a process you went through to meet somebody, to become comfortable with them, to trust them, to believe in what they're doing, to get the bigger picture, to come where you're at today. A lot of people believe that the internet was the great salvation of not having to work hard. Network marketing is no different than any other business. It's work. It's that relationship, and again, you look at dentists, lawyers, guy that owns a hardware store, the strength of their business is based on the relationship they created with their customers, getting them wanting to come back, making them feel good, making them feel that they get taken care of, that there's respect there. We do the same thing here. And that is people who trust us, who believe in us, and become part of our business, we have an obligation, if we treat our business correctly, to make sure that we give them the best that we can in terms of support, the help, the training, the information, so that we do our part. Now, they got to do their part. They have to work. They got to put forth the effort. They got to do those types of things. So it's a mutual situation. But the invitation on both sides is the same. Now, here's how I'm going to move through the process. And I'll just use a couple of examples. Let's say I've got a friend of mine. His name is Bob. And Bob and I have known each other for 5, 6, 10 years, whatever. And let's say we've been involved in some businesses. And we've been involved off and on a number of times. And maybe we've made some money. Maybe we've lost some money. Maybe it's a combination of the above. And so I give Bob a call. So I say, hey, Bob, it's Dean. How's it going? He said, oh, it's going great. How's the family? Family's doing good. I take a minute or so just to get past the niceties. He's a friend. And I say to Bob this, Bob, you and I are risk takers. You know, it's part of the reason why we've done some of the things that we've done in the past. You know, we've made some money, lost some money, but we're not the kind of people that, you know, that accept the status quo. You know, if we did, we would still have jobs working paycheck to paycheck and, you know, doing the same thing that everybody else does. We want more out of life. And I say that because it's the truth. I mean, you're here, I'm here, we're here because we're not happy just making, you know, a living. We want to live. We want the things that we believe we're entitled to that we can give to our families. So I'm speaking the truth. But I'll say to Bob this. I said, listen, Bob, I've chosen to engage with an international company that is going to change the dynamics of the public forever globally. I make that statement because it's true. I also make that statement, and you're all going to laugh, because he probably doesn't have a clue what that even means. It's a true statement, and we are going to change the dynamics of the public forever. But the reason I use the statement and the reason that I use those particular words is because it sounds good, it creates curiosity, and quite frankly, that's the only thing I want is the curiosity. I want him to go, what is he talking about? But so I make that statement, and then I come immediately back and I say this, but Bob, what I want you to understand is what I'm involved in and what I'm doing may not be of any interest to you. And if it's not, don't worry about it. But I've got a short little video I want you to take a look at. It's going to show you what this company offers the public. It will knock your socks off. It's incredible. Now, why did I say it that way? Number one, again, it's factual. It's true. Now, we're doing a training here, but just listen to the music in my voice. Why do I say it that way? I believe it. I know it's a fact. Come on. Who in their right mind is going to take a look at what Doobly offers? I don't care if you're shopping at Kmart, Walmart, if you're going to Apple, if you're going to use, I don't care what you're doing. If you know you're going to get the best deal, the best price, and this company called Doobly is going to give you some cash back you can't get on the best price anyway, why would you say no, even if you're a free customer? Nobody's going to say no. So even when I'm explaining it to you, you can hear the enthusiasm. If I wasn't with Doobly, I sure as heck not going to give up my Doobly.com site. So there's the music. You know, again, if you've listened to the trainings I've done before, I said there's two things you'll always hear me say. You're going to develop a rhythm, and they're going to hear the music in your voice before they ever hear the words that you say. Those are two facts. Those are given. If you don't have those two things in place right now, get them. Go over there, do what you got to do, get with your upline, get with somebody, get the rhythm, get the music. You got to have it. It's critical. So I'm going to say to Bob, I said, and I said it that way. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't say, Bob, I'd like you to take a look at this. Would you? Or I say, I want your opinion. I just said, Bob, I'm going to send you a video. I want you to take a look at it. It's going to change the dynamics of opinion. Now, I will say, after you watch that video, I want you to tell me what you think. What do you think of this offer? It's going to knock your socks off. That's the term I use. I'm going to knock your socks off. I want curiosity. Bob is going to go, I don't know what Dean's so excited about, but I gave him an out. I said, what I'm involved in and what I'm doing may not be of any interest to you. And if it's not, I gave him the out. He can say, Dean, I'm too busy. It's good. God bless you. It's great. You're going to do well. It's just not for me. So, and the other reason that I did that is because I got him to drop his what do I want to say? His barriers. Because when I called him, because we've known each other for so long, we've been in network marketing, the first thing he's thinking is Dean's going to sell me on something. All of a sudden, Dean just told me that I may not be interested. If I'm not, that it'll say, okay. He goes, oh, great. I don't have to worry about it. So I've got him to relax. And I got him willing to take a look at the video. Now, what Bob doesn't know is I'm going to send him this video, and it's the first step in a job interview that I'm going to have with Bob to find out if I want Bob in business with me. But that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, listen, Bob, it's a short video. It's about 10 minutes. I'm going to send it to you here as soon as I get off the phone with you. And and I'm going to send it over to you, and then I'm going to call you right back. I want to make sure that you got it because, you know, the internet, things can disappear out there. And when can you look at it? Now, here's the first step in scheduling. If Bob says, well, I can look at it this afternoon about 4 o'clock, I'm going to say, great. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the video. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to make sure that you got the link to the video. And then you'll watch it at 4. I'm going to call you about 4:30. Is that a deal? Bob would say, yeah. I said, okay, remember, I'm going to call you at 4:30, so don't go hiding on me. I'm going to call you at 4:30. I'm really interested in what you have to think of this video. Or he may say it's Monday, whatever time he tells me, whatever day and time, I set it up and I schedule it. But as soon as I send the video link, I call him right back. Make sure he got it. Now, he knows, and by the way, that if you're making some notes, write this down. If you make a commitment, if you tell somebody you're going to do it, then do it. Absolutely do it, because if your word isn't any good, then what good is it for anybody to want to be in business with you if they can't trust what you have to say? Now, if you can't make it for some reason, then you pick up the phone and you reschedule. But communications is critical. So now I've set it up. One quick pass through. Call Bob. Bob, how you doing? How are the kids? How's the family? Great. Listen, Bob, you and I are risk takers. That's why we've done what we've done. You know, made some money, lost some money. I've chosen to engage with an international company that's going to change the dynamics of the public forever. But what I'm involved in, I want you to understand, may not be of any interest to you. And so that's the whole premise. Set it up. I'm going to send you the video. That was my goal, to get the video to him. I send the video, I call him back immediately, and I make sure that he got the video link. And then I've on my calendar, here's the thing, because this is the other part about building your business, and that's time management. So now on my calendar, which I'm running parallel to whatever I'm doing, I post when I'm going to call Bob up. The invitation, you can make this invitation call in less than 2 minutes, folks. Less than 2 minutes. So that means, depending on what your business plan is, and hopefully you've all got a business plan, you know how many people you would like to enroll per month with Doobly, and then break it down by week. And so to know that, and you figure your ratios, whether it's a 1 to 3 to 1 ratio, whatever it is, on how many people you need to talk to figure out, you know, who will engage, because it'll be, generally it's going to be, you know, 1 to 3%. But we're building a business. We know that's going to take some time. So you put it down, and you can make, in a given day, depending on what your schedule looks like, you can make a half a dozen calls in a day. But you got to also be careful. You can make these invitation calls in 2 minutes. Your follow-up calls now will probably take 20 minutes or so. So you've got to be able to plan and schedule so you don't jam yourself up. And I'm going to take you through the sequence that will take us out on the back end. Now, once that's done, I've got that portion done. It's got it set. Now, you'll notice on my worksheet here, I have, you know, your goals to get them an online webinar, recorded presentation, because there's a lot of things going on out there in our business, and I'm talking globally. We have a lot of people that are doing strictly online work. We have people that are doing a combination of online work with some local presentations, local trainings. We have some people that strictly believe in the local stuff, you know, personal one-on-one. The invitation is designed to fit however your group works. I'm not telling people to change groups or the dynamics of the groups or anything else. It's just this is a process so that you can plug it into the method of operation that you use, and know that there's a specific reason and purpose. The whole purpose for all of this, and I said this earlier, is to create curiosity. That's all I want. I want them interested enough that they're willing to go look. Now, one other thing that's very important here, and that is this. If Bob says, well, listen, Dean, who's the company? What are you doing? How are you making money? What's going on? I'm going to tell him, Bob, I'm not interested in talking with you about the business right now. I want you to take a look at Doobly.com. I want you to, Doobly.com. No, I want you to look. And by the way, I didn't use the word Doobly.com. I said, I want you to take a look at a video that's going to show you what this company is going to offer the public. I never used the word Doobly. So I said, now they'll see that, by the way, in the video. And that's fine. So I said, Bob, at this juncture, I want you to just take a look at the offer in public. After you've had a chance to look at it, if you got any interest, and you may not have, and notice how I'm downplaying that. I'm taking it away from him constantly because I'm making him want it. I'm not selling him. I'm going to make him want it for me. I'm going to make him pull me into giving him information about the business. So I'm going to say to him, I just want you to take a look at the retail, what this offering is that this company is offering the public. After you've had a chance to look at it, then we'll talk. It doesn't make sense to talk about the business right now. And if he continues to push me, and again, you have to temper this with how you deal with people, how they already know you. Now, in my circle, people know I've got a very dry sense of humor. They know I can be caustic, but I'm never mean-spirited. When I'm caustic, it is through a sense of humor. But I'm also very direct. And so if he really pushes me about the business side, I'm going to say, listen, Bob, why in the world would I even want to talk to you about a business? And why in the world would you want to talk to me about a business if after you take a look at this offering that they have for the public, you don't like it? Why waste? I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste mine. Just take a look at it. It'll blow you away. Again, I'm not mean-spirited, but at the same time, what Bob is, and what I'd like you to understand, what I'm doing with Bob is I'm training him for the future. Because what I'm doing with Bob is what I want Bob to do as he builds his business if he's going to work with me. So that's my step. So when the 7 touches that I talked about, step number 1 is I made the phone call. 2 minutes. Step number 2, he's going to get the retail video. Step number 3, I will follow up with the phone call that I committed to. If it's today, then I say, well, I'll follow up with you today at 4:30. If it's Monday, if it's Wednesday, whatever it is, it's on my calendar, I follow up. So I call Bob back up on the recording, on the day that we said we would. I say, Bob, it's Dean. How's it going today? You know, he's going to say, great, whatever. Okay, now, did you have a chance to watch the video? If he says no, then we're done. I'm going to say, well, Bob, listen, it doesn't even make sense for us to talk until you've had a chance to watch the video. And I only schedule and allocated a certain amount of time today just to chat with you for a few minutes. When can you watch the video? And I'm going to reschedule it. Now, I'm going to give Bob 2 to 3, depending on how important he is to me, 2 to 3 opportunities to watch the video, and then I'm going to put him off for about 3 or 4 weeks because he's going to find out real quick that I'm busy. So if he says, yeah, as a matter of fact, I did have a chance to watch the video, then I'm going to say, great. Isn't it amazing what this company has done for the public? Where else are you going to go? And this is me setting some things up. Where else are you going to go and buy whatever you want from Apple or from Target or from Macy's or from whom, and get it at the best price and get cash back? What did you like the best about it? Now notice how I set that up. I talked about the positives already on things that are self-evident, and then I turned around and asked him specifically what he liked best about it, and I shut up. That was it. Now, Bob is going to tell me whatever Bob's going to tell me, and so I'm going to listen. I'm listening for his tone of his voice. I'm listening for questions. I'm determining at this juncture whether Bob made it or not to the next round. This is almost like a game show if you want to treat it that way. He's got to get past the first round to get to the second round. And by the way, this takes stress off you. Instead of you worried about, somebody signing up, not signing up, or whatever, this is going to take some stress off you. By the way, this is exactly the same thing happening on the cold market side, except on the cold market side, where you're going to start talking to people is after they come through. Over there they call them the funnels, and they're going to set up 2 or 3 or 4 funnels to get people through, because at the back end of it you still have got to talk to people. The funnel system that they use and the videos and the content that they use in cold market are designed to move as much of the people out of the way as fast as they can, either sign them up as customers and or bring those through the back end that basically raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in your business, and at that juncture, then you talk to them. Now, when you do that on the cold market side, by the way, there's a different set of challenges, because at the end of the day, we're talking about building a business. A business takes time. Nothing is going to happen overnight. Nothing is going to happen, where you can make all kinds of money in 3 months or 6 months or whatever. We know in the business world, a good business, a really good business, it's going to be sustainable. It's going to generate the residual income, those types of things that you want, take 2, 3, 4 years to build. So we have the ability in our business, though, to make some really great money up front as we're building our business, knowing that all of us are building the residual income for our exit strategy. And that exit strategy is that financial number you've heard me talk about so many times, that you know it's going to be there, whether you're working, not working, year in, year out. It's very simple. So we're going to invest the time that we need to. Cold market, warm market is not going to make any difference. So as we go through the process, I get them from the retail video to the recorded presentation. Now, and if Bob has come through and he says, you know, Dean, this is amazing, I love what I've seen, and he says, there's no question, everybody's going to want it, but I've known you a long time, you know, you're not getting involved in anything that there's not great money to be made. Or he's going to say something or ask questions along those lines, whatever it is, that indicates he wants information about the business. Then I'm going to say to Bob this. I'll tell you what I'll do, Bob. I'm going to send you another video. This one it's a link to a video. This one's about 28 minutes long. It's a recorded business presentation. Give you an overview on their business. It'll probably answer most of your questions. It'll probably create some other questions. But it'll give you the information that you need. Now, again, I want you to understand, after you've had a chance to take a look at it, again, it may not be something you're going to be interested in. And if it isn't, that's okay. But then we can chat after, you know, if you really like what you see, and then we'll just talk a little bit. So again, I took it away, took the pressure off. So so again, if you're following the touches, phone call, first video retail, third touch the phone call, fourth touch the retail video. I'm sorry, the recorded business presentation video. Now, before I get off the phone with Bob, same thing. When can you watch it? Now this is call it 28, 30 minutes long. When can you watch it? And we schedule a time. And I say, okay, I'll send you the video. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to make sure you got the link to the video, make sure you got it, and then we'll talk on the day that we've scheduled. And I follow through and I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. Now, here's the other thing. So I've gone through the 4 touches. The 5th one is going to be the follow-up phone call. You do not, and if you're making notes, write this down. You do not call that person back alone. If you do, you lose. I don't call people back alone, and I'm probably the best equipped to describe and explain anything that needs to be explained about the Doobly business model. I have somebody I've been working with for a while on the line with me, and they will tell my contact pretty much the same thing I would tell him anyway, but my contact wants to hear it from a third-party source. That's why we know the 3-way works so well. It's not that it's just the thing is they know me. We're friends. So but when they hear a stranger, and I'm not a psychologist, so I can't tell you that all of the reasons why. We just know that people will believe somebody, a stranger, before they believe us. In my case, we may have a great relationship, but that third party validates what I've been saying, so it just brings a better comfort level to the individual. Now, the people you work with may believe you 100%. But having a third party there validate what you've been saying brings them a comfort level. If you don't use the 3-way, folks, you're leaving half of the battle, half of the best tools you've got in your toolbox. So I encourage you to do that. So when you set it up, whoever you're working with, if it's somebody in your upline, it could be cross-line, it could be somebody in your downline, doesn't matter. When you schedule that next appointment, get them and schedule it with them so they make sure it's on their calendar and they're available for you. So then what you do is you call back again. Now this is the follow-up to the recorded business presentation. And I'll call Bob and say, hey, Bob, and by the way, I've got my third party already on the line with me. I call Bob back. I say, Bob, this Dean, I'm giving you a call back because I promised you I would. You still have time right now? I'm always verifying they got the time. If he says no, we are off and we reschedule. If he says yeah, I do, this is great, then I'm going to verify. Did you watch the video? If he says no, we reschedule. I'm off. If he says yes, I say okay, great. Bob, you're not going to believe what happened. I was talking to my partner, whatever term you're using, your support partner, your whatever. I was talking to my partner about you, and told him what a great guy you are, and that we're chatting about the business, and he said he happened to be free, and I've actually got him online with me right now, and so I'll introduce him. I say, Bob, this is Jerry. Jerry, this is Bob. Now, well, here's what we're doing. I said to Jerry, and I give Jerry a little bit of background on Bob. Great guy, worked with him together, somebody I want in business with me. I give him the high points. So what I say when I'm introducing Jerry to Bob and Bob to Jerry, I say to Bob, Jerry is an incredible individual. This guy knows this business inside and out. He's made incredible income developing this business, And the thing is, he'll give you any questions you may have, he'll answer. He's going to give you the straight scoop. He's not interested in trying to sell you anything. He just wants to make sure you have the facts. So what I've done is I built Jerry up in Bob's eyes. And then I say to Jerry, I say, Jerry, this is Bob. I was telling you about Bob. And I say, you know, Bob's a great guy. He's built massive groups. He's done this. He's done that. So Bob hears me saying to Jerry what a great guy he is, and he's done incredible things. So he's feeling very good about it. Jerry, and then Jerry heard me telling Bob, you know, about him and how great he is. So I've got these guys on an equal level playing field, if you will. So there's a mutual respect and appreciation there. So that and that's called that, you know, getting people to the same level, and it's that recognition that's critical when we talk about people. And Jerry's job is not to close him. If I'm on a three-way call with you, my job is not to close them. My job is to find out if really they belong in business with you, because the worst thing I could do for any of you is talk somebody into the business that shouldn't be in business with you. And if I did that, you've got to manage them. You don't need the aggravation. They don't need the headache, because they're going to quit 60, 90 days down the road. We want to make sure that you got the right person in harness with you and that they're going to pull their weight. So Jerry will listen to them, answer the questions. If the timing is wrong, whatever, and he hasn't signed up as a customer, Jerry will make sure that he does. If the timing is right, now we move to either an online presentation, which will tie both those videos together. We may move it to if there's some kind of local event going on, we'll invite him to the local event. We may move him to a training. We may set up a time to do a web or a training on the compensation plan. We're just moving it along to get Bob the information that he said, this is amazing, to get him to sign up. Now, when we get to that point, and it may be right after the three-way, I get it. It may be after the presentation on the compensation plan. It may be before that. It may be, okay, we do the compensation plan, and maybe we take him to a full-blown online presentation, live presentation. When we get to the point he's ready to go, what we've done is we've trained him on the process that brought him all the way here. And we've created that rapport with him, that he knows that he's not going to be just working with me. There's a team in place. We're all here to help each other. And that's the whole focus. Now, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. These are just, you know, some additional things. Each of you will develop your own way of saying things. You know, I used the words and the verbiage that I just said about, you know, I've chosen to engage with a international company that's going to change the dynamics of the public forever. I could say that 300 times, it's going to be identical. It'll be the same every single time. You know, you could say I got a home-based business. You could say whatever. You're going to develop whatever it is that you want to say. This is, you know, some people call it your elevator pitch, whatever you want to call it. But what you want to do is you don't want to be thinking, what am I going to say to say? You got to have this down. It's got to come off your tongue like butter. So. And again, it's not a sales pitch. Understand this. This is not a sales pitch. This is the facts. It's how you see it. It's what you believe. And the stronger your belief system is in what you're saying, that music will come through. Folks, here's the thing. We have a unique situation with Doobly. And it's going to be a great business, but this really is history in the making. Nobody has been able to do what Doobly's done. There have been a lot of companies that have tried and failed. And you know, Doobly's had their challenges to get here because of technology and the integration on a global seamless platform. And think about that, seamless platform. Not even Amazon has a seamless platform. Theirs are run by countries, and they're disconnected. To do what Doobly has done and make it so that it's across all borders, languages, and currencies is amazing. We still got some ways to go. But when this company has got it honed in, when they've got this thing dialed in where it is smooth as glass and perfect, look out. It's going to be a tsunami. We are before the initial phase that's going to explode. That gives us a huge, huge advantage. And so now it's just a matter of finding those people that have the vision, have the ability to see it. And we will be honest with people. It's the best way to build your business, with honesty and integrity. There's no reason to do this business any other way. So again, you pick what works best for you, and you'll say what you need to say. And here's the thing, and this is one of the things that's important, that, people think they need to be great salespeople. You don't need to necessarily be a great salesperson. But there is principles and disciplines in our business. If somebody tells you you don't need principles and disciplines in this business because this functions like any other business, they're wrong. You need to learn the principles and disciplines. The more you practice them, the more you follow them, the better you get, the more confident you get, the smoother it'll become, and the less disjointed it'll feel to you. And you have to always, always continue to follow through and do the things you say you're going to be. That's part of the consistency. This is why I've said that the invitation, from my perspective, is the most important piece to the whole equation about building your business. Warm market, cold market makes no difference. You see, marketing, and this is what we do, there's a term I use, it's called wordsmithing, and it's not a network marketing term. This is out in the traditional world, business world, where I come from. It's wordsmithing. People, companies spend literally millions and millions of dollars on ad agencies and writers and those kinds of things to put the right words together for a commercial. And then they spend, that much money on people to create the video content to put the words together, because it's about how they deliver the message. That's why they have these contests on commercials, and, people that like them, don't like them, those kinds of things. We're no different. It's about wordsmithing. It's about how we say things to people. It's about our heart and how that they know what we believe, what we're telling them. We're not there just trying to sell them something to make a buck. Because if that comes across that way, your success rate will go right through the floor. So this is part of what you want to take to heart. And, there's a saying that, how do you get really, really good at something? You start out by being really, really bad at it. But you do it long enough so that you quit being bad, really, really bad, then you're bad, then you get from bad to pretty good, or to good to pretty good, and then it becomes second nature to you. Anybody that's successful will tell you exactly the same thing. So, give me 1 second here.